Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. I am your gracious host, Jay Red. Before we begin, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/RedsView. Also, make sure that if you want to support the show, donate to the Cash App, $ JAYR3D, and also hit the like button or the dislike button. It's all good as long as we get some engagement. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm making this video because I just got word that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, that's Kendrick Lamar's album that is dropping next Friday, May 13th. I'm super excited about it, by the way. But he is alluding to it being a double album from Kendrick Lamar. Could you imagine that? Oh, man. I'm excited. I'm super excited. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's been so long, man. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. I think that he's put out phenomenal bodies of work. Arguably 3 classic albums: Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn. To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite, by the way. But I'm making this video in response to it because I'm skeptical about it. I want to know. I'm so excited, but I just want to know what other people are thinking and share my thoughts of what we have to come. Now, with it being a double album, I think that rightfully so, it should be a double album. The main reason is because he hasn't released a project since 2017's Damn. That was 5 years ago, and I think he released that back in April of 2017. Phenomenal album. That album was so dope, you could play it front to back and back to front, literally, and get a whole different album, like the different meanings and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been 5 years, been way past, overdue for us to get a body of work from Kendrick Lamar because the game has been suffering for real, right? So, in response to that, I'm skeptical. I think that Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, right? I'm thinking even though it'll be a double album, it'll be 2 separate albums, if you follow me, right? So Mr. Morale, I think that is going to be geared towards the To Pimp a Butterfly vibe, the spiritual type of vibe. Because if you notice on Good Kid, Mad City, all his albums had spiritual meanings in them, right? But Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn felt like they were more radio friendly, more commercial friendly, right? Because the biggest hits of his career came from those albums, right? To Pimp a Butterfly is more jazzy, more mellow, more smooth, more thought-provoking. It's like an audiobook. With To Pimp a Butterfly, you can't just throw it on and just listen to one song. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen to the whole album. Not saying that you can't do that for, the other 2 albums, but I'm saying like that one was more locked in. It was talking about, race issues, just a whole bunch of different things that we deal with in the Black community, just a whole bunch of stuff. So I think Mr. Morale is going to lean towards that. I feel like it's going to be a continuation of The Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like the Big Steppers is going to be more radio friendly. When I hear Big Steppers, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of like, Step Team or something like that. Shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. But I'm thinking of more like when you step, you know what I'm saying? The Big Steppers. I'm thinking more dancing, more, radio friendly stuff. Those are my thoughts about what the albums may be, right? But I think they're going to coincide and come together to give a meaning. But the reason I feel like there's going to be the double album is because I think that he got lost creatively because he gave us 3 masterpieces back to back. There's been no artist in history that has done that. Group-wise, solo-wise, shout out to Jay-Z, shout out to Nas, right? But Kendrick Lamar came out with a classic album. He continued with another classic album. And they continued again with arguably, another classic album. And damn, not many of your artists, like, what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody besides Biggie, you know what I'm saying? But he only had 2 and he passed away after that one. But classic albums back to back, man, bro. It's crazy that he's been able to do that. So where do you go? Where do you go artistically? Like, okay, Good Kid, Mad City, I gave them spiritual and I gave them bangers, right? I gave them hits. To Pimp a Butterfly went left field, but it was still well received. Damn, I brought it back to the Good Kid, Mad City vibes and made some more radio smashes, right? Now where do I go? I was thinking he was going to go back to Pimp a Butterfly, the more spiritual, jazzy type of way, right? But I think that after a few years, because it takes years to develop an album like that, I think that he got lost in the sauce, and especially when the pandemic hit, and now that we back outside now, he probably was like, okay, let me do a mixture of both. Let me try to do Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, and To Pimp a Butterfly all together in one. Now, you would have thought that Damn was like those, like Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly all together, but I think that he's going to give us the best of both worlds this time. For the fans of To Pimp a Butterfly, that's going to be Mr. Morale. And the Big Steppers, I feel like that's going to be more radio friendly. Good Kid, Mad City, as well as Damn. But what do y'all think? You know, I think that this is going to be a great album. Now, when I first heard the name, I was like, it sounds like a Disney movie. It sounds like a play that's about to come out. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like, I was like, I don't know. And then I haven't heard Kendrick in a while. I've heard his verses, right? And he's been wanting to put out an album, but I think seriously he was going to do it I called it in 2019, but when it didn't come out in 2019, I said, okay, it's going to be 2020. But then the pandemic hit. So I was like, damn. So now 2021 came around, then I just gave up hope. I was like, well, maybe he felt like those 3 albums cemented him, because honestly, God forbid, if Kendrick Lamar Ward had to have passed away, I feel like those 3 albums he gave us were classics. I feel like those fulfilled everything. It's like a trilogy, right? I mean, it was a trilogy. You look at The Dark Knight. I mean, you look at, what was it first? Batman Begins, then it went to The Dark Knight, then The Dark Knight Rises. Usually movies go in trilogies. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what he gave us. And hopefully this album lives up to the hype, to the expectations. I really don't know what to expect at this point. I can only give my thoughts of what it may be. But I'm excited, especially since I saw that if you look at the thumbnail, he has 2 CDs, the master copies or whatever. So, man, I'm excited. What do you think? Do you think that this is going to be what I said, or do you think that it's going to be different? Are you looking forward to it? Are you anticipating it? Do you think it's going to be a dud? It's already projected to sell 400,000 records the first week. So let me know in the comment section what you feel. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RedsView. Follow me on all social media platforms at JAYR3D. This is J Red. I'm signing out.